Greetings, dear teacher. My name is Washington Vasco, and I want to contribute to this important subject, assessing writing. I hope you like this video. I do my best in order to develop this important subject because it is our it is our duty to know the different kind of assessment, especially when you are a future teacher. And I hope you like this video, and I wish you are very well with your family during this pandemic. It's terrible pandemic, as mentioned. Okay, let's start. I want to talk about assessing writing. And assessing writing assessment is the gardening information about the learning the learning in writing. As we know, assessment is a gardening information when you are when you want to know that the students is going to and is learning the different kinds of the topics that you that you teach. And there is assessments of the students' writing is a process that occurs in many different stages such as basic levels, intermediate, and advanced. It's very different to assessment to the students with the basic levels because they don't know they don't know the same words or the same vocabulary as other stages. Okay, another last one is one of the major purpose of the writing assessments is to provide a feedback to the students in order to establish if they are learning properly, bearing in mind the topics such as vocabulary, reductions, grammar, etc., etc. As we know, it depends on the stages because every stage gives you a different perspective of the situation that the students they know it possibly about according or any resource that you needed to ask for the reasons if you want to assess to the students you need to bear in mind that the stages it's very important. It's very important because it's not the same to ask to the basic levels that they are uh, they can do a summary of a long story because they learn in a basic way. Okay, the purpose of the assessment is recognizing the process is recognize the skills. And this is important skills because assessing writing is one of the skills in the learning of a new language for the reasons recognize how qualities that the students using in their own learning. Another is that since the students are using the skills to do the same measures as other skills. For example, when you are teaching a new languages or the students are learning the new languages, they need to learn in the same way that the different skills that the new language needs in order to explain or to develop this part. For example, speaking, listening, and writing. And finally, the fluency. Because every stage, as I mentioned, every stage needs to develop the different vocabulary or the different parts of the writings. For example, they are going to create a new words in their mind, and it's evident that the fluency it's going to be better. Okay, I want to explain with examples of this the text that that I would that I would evaluate or assess the writing. For example, first of all, I have to bear in mind that what kind of the students I have. For example, if I have the basic levels, I have. I'm not gonna assess with that difference with the same in the same way that the intermediate or levels or at advanced levels. For example, in the basic levels, I can create a text in classrooms with I don't know, withdraws that they can't recognize that imaging, and they come to write it to the to the board. So sorry, I let's suppose that it's a board. I don't have a board yet, but I hope to have it very soon. For example, I don't know. Let's suppose that I draw I drew a TV. I ask to the different students that have the word that they write in the board, in the basic level especially, the name of that of that draw, okay, of that pick. In the intermediate in the students the text that I used in order to evaluate or to assess would be write a story using a different kind of words. For example, I tried in the board the a different words. For example, in this video, I have the door, TV, mirror, forest, mountain, in order that the students can create a short or I don't know, whatever story in order to explain me that they can create these words in a creative way. For example, the doors. I don't know. So let's suppose that a student comes and write in the board or in the book. I don't know. There's a uh, I was in my home. I was at my home watching TV, but suddenly someone knocked the door and knocking the door, and I was ready to see who is there, but in the forest there was there was a beautiful bird, the beautiful bird, and suddenly I got out and walked in the mountain. I don't know, whatever story that it is that the students need to create a short story in the books, and you are going to find if they are respecting the rules, respecting the grammar rules, they are using different kinds of vocabularies according to the level. Okay. In advanced words, it's very different. It's all kind of scenarios the tags that I used in order to develop this part, and in order to assess the writing, would be I don't know, to send a summary of any kind of story, or hey students, you are going to read a book and you are going to summary, and you're going to give me a summary about this book, or or you have to have in the classrooms, I don't know, a PDF, a short PDF, like for instance, like this in Temer is relevant topics about the different problematics of our stories with different kinds of vocabulary. Uh, are going to help us to develop this kind of the story. In the summary, it's a text you're going to find the different situations, and the students is going to use are going to use in the best way this part of the skills. Okay, the resources that I used in this part was the first one was British, British Council. In this part, I consider that it's a very important resource for me, because different kinds of that I going to use, or how I doubt it gives me an overall of different scenarios as a teacher. For a reason, I suggest British councils. In this part, have a different kinds. For example, look at this. They have the text develops assessment reading and assessment writing. It's a very necessary for us to have presented as well. Another resource that I consider is was assessment student writing in the web of a University of Nebraska is another resource very useful for that because they have many theories and concepts about this important topic. It's very long, so, but I suggest that you are going to use it in order to develop this class in order to know that it is an important topic. And finally, another resource and the third one is the reading rockers and the launcher road readings. It's very useful because it's very interesting to know that the students not only depends of their minds, but as teacher we have to bear in mind that we are going to found a different students with even to disabilities that is going to be hard. It's going to be hard our labor. For that reason, I want to show you this part on the screen. I show you once more time the resources, but in order to enjoy this video. Thank you very much, teacher. My name is Washington Vasco. Hope you like this video. Thank you very much once more time, and you are very well during this pandemic. See ya.